This is the story of how I spoke my dream life into reality. If you're new here, my name is Ciara. I am soon to be 30. I did a PhD in computer science and AI, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I've slowly been rediscovering my creativity and trying to lead a life in line with the things that I really love doing. I've had some huge news come through in the last couple of weeks that I want to share with you. It's all in line with this program that I've been following called The Artist's Way, which is about rediscovering your creativity and reconnecting with yourself. I was starting this journey like a year ago following this program, and then I went on like a extended artist vacation and never actually went through with finishing the program. So now I'm back doing the program. I'm filming some vlogs to go along with different weeks of the program, and I also thought it would be cool to do some video essays to go along with different stepping stones. But the first week has this really strong focus on recovering a sense of safety and on the use of affirmations, which you may feel the same way I feel about them, which is that they are really cheesy and that they don't work. But this video will explain to you how they actually very much can work and have worked hugely for me. First, I'll explain how it worked for me, and then I'll explain how it works in general, and then I'll explain how you can use it yourself. Over the last year, I've gradually just become more like, okay, well, let's just pretend. Let's just pretend that this thing works and we'll see what happens. Let's just pretend that this is the way it is and we'll see how that affects things. If you were around this time last year on my channel, a little bit later, you'll know I went off to London to study acting full-time for 5 weeks and essentially follow my dreams for a month and use that to see if this is something I wanted long-term. And it was literally the best thing I ever did. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to live life if this is not the way things are going forward. That sounded too dark. I wasn't sure how to return to life now knowing what I know and how much I want to do this forever. I started to convince myself that I was the kind of person who could go and study acting, that I was indeed an actor maybe already. And I started to put that out into the world. I started to say it to people. I started to act in a way that I felt would be in line with that person. So the kind of person who can do this kind of training, they probably cycle a bike. So I started cycling a bike in October. This kind of person who can apply for acting school, this is something I never could have done. So the kind of person who could apply for acting school dresses a certain way. And I'm still discovering what that looks like. But over time, all of these small changes that I was making started to make my life feel a little more like the life of someone who could have these things. Now, I was dealing with a huge amount of like long-term self-doubt, extreme stuckness in my body, which is, for acting, you really need to be able to use your body and to trust yourself. In this kind of time period, I started my audition process in November, did my first audition, was really scared, was so terrified, because for me, if I didn't get through the first round, I think it would have been a big sign that this is something that I wasn't meant to do, because I had already done like all of the work to prepare, and I was like, I can't be any more prepared for this. I had done audition workshops, I had done, all of the things that I felt I needed to be doing. I did find out that I got through the first round and into the second round. So that was sort of like my green light that I do have the skills to do this course. And I started to then be back with a load of self-doubt again. The way that I ended up kind of overcoming this was to start going to these spiritual gatherings twice a month around the moon phases, which I know is so woo-woo, but they were just really great reflection points. And a lot of the times I was finding that whatever was going on with the astrology that is completely made up, yet if you just believe it, it actually sort of works. I was finding that I was able to align those things and reflect on them and see these synchronicities in what was going on with my own performing anxiety. And over time, I started to work with different affirmations. And this is pre coming back to do The Artist's Way, by the way. This is like between January early February, let's say, end of March would be when I was doing my main work and trying to prepare for the second round of this audition. And I would be doing these different reflections and journaling, and then finding affirmations like, let's see, ones that I ended up having. I'm here to reveal, not to prove. So when it came to this second round audition, I had this mindset of like, I need to prove that I'm able for this. I need to prove that I'm this person that can be here. But actually, instead, I needed to have a slightly different mindset around it, which was like, I'm here to just be able to reveal the person that I am and give them an option for who could be in this course, and they can take it or leave it. And that was really hard, and I'm not sure I actually succeeded in doing that necessarily. By the time I came to do my second round audition, I had even gone as far as to like write myself a letter from my soul saying that like, this is what I'm meant to be doing, like this is like what my soul's purpose is here on this earth. And those kind of written exercises where you're writing out words and like writing out a story that's not necessarily true. Of course, it's not true. For whatever reason, that just worked to get me to really believe that this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so when I went into that audition, I felt like this is exactly what I'm meant to be doing, and this is exactly where I'm meant to be. And I do feel like I did the best I could. Over time, I kind of reflected back and said, I don't necessarily know that it was clear who I am, though, and who it was I was able to share my unique self, which I'm only just discovering at the moment. And that's okay. So anyways, I didn't get through the third round, and that's all right. Thankfully, I have still been doing all of this work to work on myself and work on my beliefs, that I didn't let this be a sign that this isn't what I'm meant to be doing, because I had already done all this work to show myself that this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is the path I'm meant to be on. Right after finding out that I didn't get through to the next round, I essentially had this workshop where the idea was like, stop trying to force your agenda. Things will unfold as they are meant to. You just have to trust the timing that is laid out for you. You can't make things happen on your own timeline. So that was, again, a good thing for me to kind of reconnect with. Oh my God, it just started lashing rain. Anyways, long story short, I feel if I had gotten through the third round, I think I would have seen that as almost too much of a green light. I know if I had gotten through the third round, I would have been at this point where I'd be a bit more comfortable with myself, and I would be able to really show who I am. And I definitely would have, I feel, gotten into the course if I had been in that third round I would have gotten into the 3-year course. And I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I'm ready for that commitment, because I would have ended up making huge life changes. I would have definitely left my job. I would have probably made a lot of irreversible decisions that would have really affected things with my partner and my family. I don't think it would have been right, basically. I don't think that was what the universe wanted for me. They gave me this extra bit of time where I knew I hadn't got through to the third round, so I was pretty sure I didn't get into the shorter course. I then found out after the third round, which was end of April, I found out that I got waitlisted for the shorter course. And that for me was another green light, where it was like, okay, it was pretty close. You probably nearly got through to the third round, but not quite. It had me, thinking about applying next year and starting to feel like, okay, let's figure out how we can really show who I am and figure out who I am so that I can show that next year when we're in this space again. I really didn't think I was going to hear anything. I wasn't going into this summer thinking that I was going to get news from this course. I restarted the Artist's Way. I had gone through the first week of affirmations, and I then was connecting with the affirmations that they have in the book and writing out, I, Ciara, am a talented and prolific actor, writing that out like 10 times, writing it out for a whole week, feeling so awkward about it because I know that I still struggle to say to people that I'm an actor because I don't have like any backing for that. Like I haven't done that course. I haven't done any like formal training. And I say that, but it's like I've done actually loads of courses and I've done courses that I've auditioned for. So like, why can't I just accept that this is the way it is without me doing this particular thing. So there's still work to be done on that anyways. In that first week, I really made peace with the fact that this is who I am and what I'm doing. And the actions that I was doing that week really lined up with that, because I read a play that I really want to do for my audition for next year. But as I was reading it, I was like, God, I really want to actually do this play. I want to make this play. I want to be in this play. And I'm going to make that happen. And I really, really believed that. And a couple days later, I got the news that I had a spot in the course from the waitlist that I was on. So if that's not like magic, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So that is my story of how I spoke my dreams into reality, because now, come September, I am going to be doing full-time actor training at the best place in Ireland and one of the best places in the world to train as an actor. And why? I don't know. Like, just because I believed it, just because I believed that that was what I was meant to be doing, and convinced myself enough that I guess I convinced other people that that's what I meant to be doing. It's still pretty crazy to me. It's still pretty crazy to me. I still don't know. And I'm so excited. I had gotten to this point of safety, okay, with this particular week of the Artist's Way. This idea that like I'm on the right track, I'm on the right path. I had kind of accepted that I didn't need this course to be happy. It wasn't my grand ticket out of the life that I'm in. But once I had accepted that, I then got it. And it was like, now that's like the joyous cherry on top of what's already really great in life. I feel like so grateful. So that is my story. Yeah. In terms of like why this kind of work works, affirmations, again, they're cheesy. A lot of athletes use them. There is scientific evidence that I don't really want to go fully into, but there's evidence that by using affirmations, it essentially does something to your brain. So it does, you know, they've seen it on MRIs. It moves things around and opens up new pathways in your brain. It encourages you to make positive changes in your lifestyle. And the way that you use an affirmation, it's usually a short statement that something already is the way it is. So rather than being like, I want to be an actor, I would say, I am an actor. Or I want to be a runner. You say, I am a runner. People can use them as well for the case of smoking. So rather than saying, I don't want a cigarette or I'm trying to quit smoking, you would say, I am not a smoker. And by aligning yourself with these affirmations and repeating them, you essentially open up your mind to accept invitations that are in line with those beliefs. Your mind starts to work in a way where now you believe this thing. And the funny thing about our brain is it really doesn't know the difference between made up and not made up. So it really starts to believe these things when you just say them and pretend that they're true. It's like the placebo effect. Our brain doesn't know that this medicine isn't going to help us. In fact, it thinks it is going to help us. And if we believe that enough, we get better. By me believing that this is all exactly what I meant to be doing and like trusting in the stars of all places, even though I don't really, you know what I mean? Like I can understand why that's totally made up. Yet once believing in it, it makes things happen. Trusting that like my soul came from somewhere above down into this earth with the dream to be an actor, and that is what my job is as the guardian of my soul. Again, totally woo-woo, totally made up, but by believing that, I have now made that happen. So is it made up? I don't know. You know what I mean? If it is made up, just pretend. Is my thing. You can work with these in whatever way you want. The suggestion in the Artist's Way is to pick a few and write them out every day, maybe several times in your notebook and then just see what happens. See if you're starting to get these little signals, if you naturally have this desire to make changes in line with that. So me starting cycling, cutting my hair into a hairstyle that I feel more like myself in, buying more colorful clothing because I had been kind of stripping back a lot of my personality in what I was wearing, and I had been wearing a lot of like low self-worth outfits, to be honest. Just gradually becoming the person that you want to be through these little changes. That is my little rant to go along with week 1 of The Artist's Way. I hope that it is in some way helpful. Keep an eye out for some vlogs upcoming because life is pretty magical and I can't wait to clue you into it a bit more. A few more of these kind of video essays going through different aspects of The Artist's Way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll include up here that video from last year in case you didn't see it, where I was talking about my dream life, and it's crazy to reflect on how we are here now. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.